Welcome, writers, as we head to Deverelli. Hello, my favorite black cat, Blake.
Hi, my favorite cat thrower.
Okay, it was a gentle toss, and honestly, she wasn't even in my way. I didn't need to move her at all.
We are referring to the reel that Kylie posted about Quicksilver and Kingfisher. And yeah, she just tossed a cat. She slaying that cat, and PETA is after us now. I have to hire a PR crisis firm. I'm looking at Blake Lively because that seems to be going well for her. And yeah, that's what we're going for.
I did not eat my cat. She was just in my space, and I gently moved her the fuck out of my way.
It was like gently. No, the cat was fine, but it was just funny to watch. We want to mention that we say bad words and highly inappropriate things. Anything we say on this podcast isn't meant to be that deep.
That's what she said.
What she said. I knew it was coming.
Which I said that the last episode, and I'm so surprised you didn't say that's what she said. I was really disappointed in you.
That's fair. I probably deserve that.
Because yeah,
Sorry.
normally like you're on it. If it's deep, you're in it.
I can't say deep and not say that's what she said. I think that's like a rule.
Yeah. It's a rite of passage, like you have to, or else you die.
Yeah. Exactly what happens.
We were having a conversation. Well, I asked you a question this morning about Sgaeyl and Taryn and their age gap, and we have
Yes.
not talked about the age gap trope in this book. Sgaeyl's like only 50, while Taryn is over 100, and it's honestly just giving that Sgaeyl's kind of a sugar baby, like latching on to this older, powerful dragon, but like with a brat kink.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Sometimes you say things and I don't know where to go with it. But I understand your thought process on this. It should be something that's talked about. Why is it okay for dragons to have these age tropes, but it's not okay for men and women, you know?
Yeah, it's frowned upon if I want to date like an 80-year-old man, like knocking on death's door. Like,
That is frowned upon. And apparently it's fine in the dragon world.
which makes me curious about all these dragons' ages and how old everyone is, and how Rebecca mentioned that the writers could potentially give wrong names.
Mhm.
So, what if they're lying about their ages?
Oh, everyone lies about their age. How old are you?
35.
Same.
Everybody lies as we are like, okay, but this is how old I really am.
I could see Sgaeyl lying about her age.
Just so Taryn would like date her.
Yeah, because Taryn is into the youngins, but like not too young, you know.
And I guess, is it like, it's a little different in the fantasy world. I mean, think about the fact that Jacob imprinted on a baby in Twilight.
Yeah, that was still never okay. Like
Yeah, I'm not saying it was. I
don't know why we just pretend that that's fine. Like no.
not one person was like, this is great news. Nobody said that.
Well, it should be more of an issue.
Okay, I will write to Stephanie Meyer, write a letter and be like, your age trope, not okay.
No, I think that's the most offensive age trope. And one of our favorite books has like a 500-year age trope, and that's fine to me.
I mean, it's not really better when it's like a 500-year-old fae with like a 19-year-old illiterate girl.
I know, but like, what is it about these fucking high lords? They're like, yes, 19-year-olds. That's the only age that's appropriate. Like, no 30s, no 35, no, only 19. You
I
just
don't know.
little life experience. Like, I'm just curious of why that's just fine. It's fine in my head when I'm reading books. I'm like, I don't care.
I mean, I pretend the characters are a little bit older. I forget, I just go for like
Well, yeah,
23.
because we're a little bit older, so that's why we try to pretend.
Well, when you put it like that, it sounds rude. We're not even old.
I don't think we are, but we're older
I'm
than
30. I'm in my 30s and flirty and thriving.
yeah, thriving. That's what we're doing.
I think our thriving definitions are a little different.
Thriving is reading 100+ books a year and staying home.
What about that is not thriving?
No, it is. That's what I'm saying. That's thriving for me. But I don't know. Even us when we were young, we used to go to Borders. We've always loved reading books. We just took a little hiatus in our 20s because of children.
That too. Well, I didn't have a kid until my late 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, we
There's-
did skip school for reading.
Mhm. Don't do what we do, folks.
Fill your fantasy void. We've got you.
Mm.
Today, we will be covering chapters 21 through 25 of Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. And warning, if you have not finished Onyx Storm, stop right now, go back and finish the book, and then come back to us. We will be waiting for you. We just don't want to ruin anything for you since, this podcast has a spoiler or two.
A little bit. The spoilers.
Just one or two. So let's hear the summies of chapter 21.
Well, some summies for your tum tummies. I don't know why I said that. That makes no sense. The epigraph at the top is Tyrandor was the last to cut contact with the Isles. The province has a reputation for its cunning leadership, but in this case, I would add astute. Subjugated the second uprising of the Croblan people by Lieutenant Colonel Asher Sorrengail. Why did everyone cut out the Isles?
They thought they were sassy. They didn't like their
Sure.
fucking attitude.
That makes sense to me. I will say that just the cunning leadership, I think Tyrandor is definitely like a Slytherin household, even though that they're like just the cunning ambition I see, but obviously they care about other people.
Yeah, they're smart. Slytherin does care about other people, mostly their own, but
Yeah, which I get.
but Tyrandor is like the brain of a Slytherin, but the heart of a Gryffindor.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, definitely. Because they're brave and good.
And they let people in. They're trying to help others out, but
They have Slytherin tendencies,
Mhm.
for sure. The quest squad makes it to Bougie T's crib. Holden has to climb out of a basket, which just felt important to mention. They ask to stay a day or two to rest before heading on to Deborelli. Takara seems surprised they have the artifact. He agrees to let them rest, but asks that they double up besides his royal bucket.
Okay, so Bougie B Viscount T is a big fan of the open floor plan, which love rhyming today, apparently. Why do you think the Venin have left Corden alone?
That's the question, isn't it?
Because, yeah, he's bragged about all this open space, his wonderful floor plan, everything that he can see, but there's still life in his land.
Well, and he says, yeah, we're one of the last cities that haven't. And even like how he created it, it's like, oh, they don't really feel like Venin are going to come there, which makes you wonder, like,
No sense of urgency to like protect them, nothing, which is why I think that Bougie B Viscount T had something to do with the flyer's delay.
oh, yes. I also believe he seems surprised that they got the artifact, which was interesting to me because it's like, oh, so I got it. You knew that they were tipped off and you were surprised that they actually got it.
Yeah, like something is very suspicious about him as well.
Which Violet even says in there that she does not trust him. So at least she
Rightfully
doesn't.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're watching you. Him.
And we
you.
know Zayden doesn't because he's like, no, he's an enemy, even if there is an alliance. So
And he collects people.
yeah, usually people that collect others isn't
Usually the moral compass we go by.
no, not usually good peeps, you know?
So Taryn makes a comment to Andarna, and he's so fucking sassy. He's like, pick your tail up off the ground right now. Where do you think we are? The Vale, which is just talking about like Corden, like it's like scuzzy, and it makes me laugh. And then he's also ruthless because he says, clearly it was common sense that attracted you to the air when Alden is barreling out of his basket. Like, Taryn was on one.
And I understand that. I was on one this morning, so you go, Taryn.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Taryn's very specific to Andarna about a mammoth red horned tortoise, and absolutely not. The shell will get embedded between your teeth, and I will not carry you in a festering tortoise shell. Not like, why did Rebecca get specific about it?
Sounds weird.
It is because like she's mentioned sheep, but not like there's subspecies, and I think goats, and even the mention of the dolphin and the isle, the dolphinum. but she could have just said tortoise, and I think it's a little weird. So I just really want to point it out.
I think you're right.
It was just oddly.
No, I thought it was weird.
It's a choice.
Like, there's no point for that. Why did you? But I don't know. Sometimes I feel like she's just always.
Or she throws in a detail to throw us off.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
But it's just weird.
They talk about the tortoise 3 fucking times. Okay.
Do they?
Yeah.
There's
Well, it's just
Taryn calls back to it.
Yeah, that is. But that's why is that a topic? You know?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. But I'm with you. I hear you. Let me go back to my thing. Xaden semi-tricks his royal bucket by saying that Xaden is here as a duke and not a professor. Yay, folks. Pound Town is time is a-coming. That's what she said. They head to Xaden's room and Vi says something in her head, but Xaden can hear it. He seems confused and blames it on her pushing it through the bond. She mentions it could be his signet growing and his eyes flare. I found this interesting because obviously I think he didn't even realize. I really truly don't believe that he realized that he was doing that, and he just thought that she was pushing it down the bond, which it just shows like how much his venom power is growing.
Yeah, he's like losing touch with normal things. When they're talking about Halden, Dane shot Violet a look that borders on an eye roll, reminding her that he'd never been a big fan of Halden. And it's like number 386 why we love Dane. He doesn't like Halden and has never liked him, but also Prince Prick is a creep for putting his hand on Violet's back. It was so inappropriate.
He just, well, obviously he's handsy. He just doesn't care. No respect.
I just don't get why everyone tries to have a dick swinging contest with Xaden, you know? No. Like Dane did it when they went to Samara. Halden's doing it in this chapter while he and Xaden are going like tit for tat, and Xaden tricks him into saying that, I'll go with Vi.
Little cuddle sesh. That's all they want.
They're doing. No slap and tickle there.
Nope. Bougie Bee knocks on the door and tells him that they can't allow Halden to arrive in a basket. He offers to take him in his ship, and the group can follow the leader 12 hours after. Takaris is curious if their powers will emerge on land, double checks that they have the artifact, and tells them not to wander off from each other and don't make a deal that they can't keep. Oh, and King Cortland is shady.
Why was the Viscount curious if their powers would emerge on land? Why? He knows that there's no magic in the land, so why was he curious?
I don't. Does he think special? Like, no, I don't trust him at all.
No, he's a shifty motherfucker. Violet also says, like, what makes you think he's the one you'd have to worry about? And I just love badass Violet. Like, the things that she said is kind of like in her villain era in her head, like, AKA she's setting boundaries.
Good for her. I believe, yeah, this is like the start of her villain era per se, but I think book 4, she's coming. She's a coming.
Oh, Lord, she's a coming.
Oh, Lord, oh, Lord. When they get close to the coastline, the dragons are a little jittery without their magic for strength. The communications between the dragons and Xaden are donezo. I thought when Taryn was saying we draw on magic for strength, I hadn't realized how dependent we truly are. That's going to come back.
Yeah. And how can he not realize it?
I know.
He's an old dragon.
He doesn't leave, so I think he just gets accustomed to it. And
he's a homebody.
Yeah, his cushy little dragon life, he's just like, oh, what's life without magic? It's why do you believe that Violet can still speak to her dragons? Both of them, not just.
Because she doesn't have the same magic. Well, she does, because she has her signets. And that was really fucking hard. You watched that struggle. But she also has I believe, a third power. Like, she's manifesting, which, nice segue here.
There you go.
Because there's lots of mention of Violet's exhaustion and what it could be like all through this chapter. We've talked about it before, and all the mentions of dizziness and even nausea. Rebecca confirmed it is not a pregnancy in one of her interviews on her book tour. Thank God. Once again, I think these are all signs of something else manifesting in her. No, not like she's got that dog in her, like something powerful, something to rival the gods' power. I know that they just flew, and so she's exhausted, but she's like on a level that the others are not. You have her saying, a bead of sweat drips down my spine. I adjust the weight of my pack on my aching shoulders again, cringing at the slight slip I feel in the right joint on my head as my head starts to swim in an annoying wave of dizziness. Oh my gosh, words are hard. Exhaustion, dehydration, and heat are never a winning combination for my body. She also says, my knee protests every step, and I curse the humidity and keep climbing, even though it feels like the ground rocks beneath my boots. And then she's like, will you still keep me if I have to crawl up the stairs? She asked Taryn, and Xaden answers, you're not crawling. And Violet's like, wrong pathway, gods, I really am in trouble, which, what a mistake to go down the wrong pathway. Imagine if she said something to Taryn that she meant for Xaden.
Taryn, I'm sure it's happened here. It's like, oh, Christ.
She's like sending nudes down the bond, and it goes to Taryn.
It's like, gross.
Ew. And then Xaden even felt it. He's like, I counted at least twice that you almost collapsed out there. So unique that he could feel her exhaustion. So in chapter 8, I mentioned, she felt dizzy these times in Fourth Wing after working out with Imogen, after fighting on the mat with Xaden, after killing Jack, and after Taryn doing a roll when fighting Venom. And then these times in Iron Flame after the third squad got torched, running with Imogen, and before the Battle of Basgiath, which all seem to be high adrenaline moments. In my opinion, seems like a time your body would feel like it needs power. But then they have to leave again, so Girlfriend's just going to have to get more tired flying. So we'll be following this news story throughout the store.
I like your theory about manifesting something else, and this is the reason. But I also like the other option if it is POTS disorder, because Rebecca has been huge on like giving attention to chronic illnesses. So if it is POTS, I'm fine with that. But I also, or it could be a combination of the two, like
Yeah.
where she is manifesting a third power as well as which the third power would be from gods. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that's how she can call the sky.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure, but I like what you're saying.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly I'm building my case thoroughly as we progress in the book.
Yes, we don't usually give full ass theories. We give like
quarter-assed theories till we get to the whole ass part.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Words were hard there for a second. My brain 100% broke. I'm glad you could say that.
Everyone is cut off from magic, and it's pretty dang hot in Deborelli while it's only morning. Something is off about the color. It's muted and faded looking, and a lot of crossbows line the wall. Okay, so the color of Deborelli. It's like the island once had magic, but was drained of it, and now it's coming back. The Irds say either they'll die off and the land will regenerate, which they say that later in the book, or they'll confront the abominations they become. And I feel like the land is regenerating on these islands.
I could, yeah, I think
so. That could be why the Viscount was like, let me know if you feel any magic.
Right. And I mean, he chose that place for his like summer home.
Knowing that magic's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. They land on the beach of Bougie V. Viscount T's estate. Once they land, they all realize that they are cut off from their dragons, with the exception of Violet, who can still talk to Taryn and Andarna. Taryn can't even talk to Sgaeyl. Mira did bring some runes as a security blanket, though. They can't really do much, though, since King Cortland only speaks to royalty. So they ask for horses so Violet can go buy books. Bougie V. Viscount T is cool with it as long as they keep a low profile, which is telling me he doesn't know any of the quest squad clearly. I almost said queely.
And I said, why can Violet still talk to her dragons? Which you responded.
No, that's in blue. That's your writing. You wrote she's a wizard, Harry.
Oh, I thought you wrote that.
No, I did. I did.
I was like, you're fucking gaslighting me. I was like, I just fucking did this chapter yesterday.
The fact that, like, you're not sure if you wrote it or not tells me your level of unhinged is on par with mine, which is scary.
Well, I think our listeners know this already.
Xaden and finally get him. Xaden and Xaden and Violet finally get a moment alone together. He's enjoying the beach and tells Vi to go rest without him. Xaden has Violet feel his heartbeat, and she notices that his heartbeat is slow and calm. Xaden tells Violet it's because there's no magic, no power, no lure, no reminder that he can just reach for it and take what's offered. He's actually at peace.
Why did this make me so sad? Like, it's like heartbreaking. This poor fucking dude.
Like, Violet debated Takaris' offer, but so did I. I would take that offer, like, if that made him feel good.
I know. And like, can you imagine the pressure that this man is under? And then on top of like, now he's venom? Like,
Our poor sweet Shadow Daddy.
I love him so much.
Me too. That's why he's on my to-do list.
So, chapter 23. Quest Squad gets their cowboy on and rides horseback to the city capital. Xaden is smiling and winking on a horse. Cowboy and Shadow Daddy vibes, say less. But if I were to say something, it would be save a horse, ride Xaden Ryerson. Especially when he says shit like Aracia is the second most beautiful thing he's ever seen in his home, being Violet is the first. Like,
Get the fuck out of here.
Say the same thing.
Men like him just don't exist. These books are ruining every single husband out there. Every single one of them.
Mm-hmm. It really is. Like, we may be like ready to go more often now because of these books, but I just realized how shitty men are.
But not Xaden. And you know what? Not Dane.
No, book boyfriends are fine. I'm talking about the real world.
Yeah. Xaden asking Dane if they rode a lot when they were younger, and it just shook the earth that they walked on to its core. Because here Xaden is asking Dane about his childhood with Violet. That's how you know he's losing himself.
And Xaden being just so nice made me sad. Sad for what could have been. Drake is like, there is no way that's the same guy, right? Referring to Xaden. And Riddick is like, well, maybe this is who he could have been if he didn't have a dad that led a whole rebellion and fucked him over by getting executed and having him thrown into the quadrant, making him responsible for all the marked ones at the age of 17. It just and then Violet thinks, is the miracle of our relationship the result of a precise combination of tragedies that broke us both so completely that when we collided, we became something entirely new? This is so Swifty coded. Like, Taylor could have wrote that. Just want to say that. And then Mira said, or maybe it could be because he loves Violet, so he isn't a dick to her.
I think Mira takes this, like, with that answer. I think he just likes Violet.
I think that is. And this is like one of the first times that Mira, I feel like, really admitted that it's more than just like she's called him her lover or like your current multiple times, where I just feel like she's never really taken their love that seriously.
And now she is.
Yeah, she's like, these guys fucking love each other, whatever. Gross.
Mira's just jealous, but not for long, because I could feel the sexual tension between Mira and Drake when she tells him he'll never know what it's like to ride a dragon because he will never be allowed to ride a dragon, but he may be allowed to ride a rider.
Totally. It's gonna happen.
He narrowed his eyes at her, but he was giving her the Flynn rider like smolder.
100%. There's no way. If they don't bone the next book,
I quit the series.
We care so much about Drake and Mira.
Yeah, I'm just really invested of them going to Pound Town, okay?
What if they like don't and she like kills him?
I'd be a little sad. Like, I was really rooting for them to bang out this anger.
Or maybe, the three people that the three brothers situation, maybe she's like, fuck you, Tiny, I'm gonna get a griffin instead. And she's one of the three. Not at all gonna.
The fact that you like weighing in on a reverse harem for Mira, I'm here for it.
Yeah, you're right.
That is the novella that we didn't know we needed.
Rebecca's like, nobody wants this. Oh,
I do.
Dane and Xaden find out that the merchant owns a bookstore because, of course, she does. They walk in and ask for Narelle. Naturally, two assailants try to attack. Xaden kicks a chair at one, and then Violence makes an appearance and hits him with a dagger in the shoulder. Norel comes out and says, "You must be Asher Sorrengail's daughter, here to collect the books he wrote for you." Violet's heart stops, which honestly seems a bit dangerous.
I think she can handle it. Or die, whatever. You know.
Book over.
Being called Firebringers, and Riddick's like a rude. And Kat's like, and wrong. Some of us just want to fuck with your feelings, not burn your house to the ground. I love her. I love her.
Because you are her.
I don't want to burn. Well, I guess, okay. You know, whatever. So it said, are you protecting something or do you just really hate riders? They're asking the shopkeeper that. And she says, only Firebringers in this store are looking for Norel. And I wonder how many people came before looking for Asher's work and if those people are the main reason that they hate Firebringers.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, who put them up to it, as I asked last chapter. Because I want to know who knows about Asher's work.
Well, we know Ados and Varish
Are very
right?
suspicious on his feather tail theory. I just also want to admit, like, how dumb I am.
Oh, good. I love it when you admit things. Go for it. Why are you dumb?
This round, when
Mhm.
I first read this and they were being yelled at as Firebringers, I was like, that's weird. Like, they don't have a fire wielder with them. They left that dumb bitch behind, and they actually just were talking about dragons. It took me a while to figure that out, but I did.
Chapter 24.
Okay, so the epigraph of chapter 24 says, she won't understand why you've kept her in the dark. You left too soon, left too many of your plans unfinished. Now we can only hope the bond between our daughters is strong enough to endure the paths they've chosen. They'll need each other to survive. Recovered, unsent correspondence of General Lilith Sorrengail, never Lily. So in chapter 18, I said, I wonder if Mira seeking out her grandma, which is later in the book, was part of a bigger plan that her dad laid out for them. He clearly did, with a good inkling that Violet will figure everything out that he laid out for her. Wouldn't it make sense he would do the same for Mira? So he knows Violet could trust her. He did get more time with Mira in life, and so he would know her personality better. Lilith says, now we can only hope the bond between our daughters is strong enough to endure the path they've chosen. They'll need each other to survive. Like, what are we missing here? Because this correspondence was meant for Asher, but is it like a typical sister bond or is there more to it?
I actually don't think that. I think Lilith and Asher made the plan together, and I don't believe that it was actually Asher. Because even later in this chapter, when we talk about it's Lilith was the one that was really took charge of Mira's raising. So I think Lilith said something to Mira to get that nudge to maybe the grandma. But we're missing something and I want to know.
She like gave her an earworm or something to like
Yes.
guide her.
Yes. I just feel bad for Mira in a way because I just don't think whatever she's being asked to do is that important compared to I think she's just a tool in figuring it out.
But I mean, Violet is also a tool essentially, which sucks for
Yeah.
her. Like, you were born to be a tool. Good for Mira. Like, she's only got a small part in this. She gets to live her life while Violet's
Yeah.
directed at solving the Riddler's mysteries.
And then every time I have questions, why is it unsent correspondence? I wonder this every time. Is she writing it in a journal, in the journals that they're going through? And it's like how some people like write to God or the universe. Like maybe she's just writing to Asher Freestead, you know?
Yeah. Or, are these all stamped and ready to go, but somebody stole them?
Yeah.
Because it's recovered correspondence, recovered unsent.
Yeah, I just don't know if she just continued to write letters to her dead husband or if it was. Yeah, I don't know. I just wonder every time.
Good question. Good question. Norel's word clearly carries some weight around there because she just tells someone they're bleeding on the floor. Apparently, the big brawl was due to Norel's litter of grandkids taking the task of protecting the books very seriously. Narelle is all of us when she's like, the continent does have some fine-looking men. Girls in heat, too.
I get it.
I get it with these men.
Mm-hmm.
Talking with old Biddy Narelle, we learn that the people of Deverelli do not worship gods. She says, what you call gods, we call science. What you call fate, we call coincidence. What you call the divine intervention of love, we call alchemy. Two substances combined to make something entirely new, not unlike what's between the two of you.
We also learn the name of the continent, the actual name, which is Amaryllis, which in Greek means sparkling or shining. It's also the name of a very pretty flower.
She glances between Xaden and Violet and then continued on. I heard you saying you'd kill my grandson if he took another step toward your beloved young man. How illogically, toxically romantic of you. I have to admit, that kind of confident violence isn't what I pictured when Asher talked about you. But the brown hair, those, I guess they're brown eyes, and how utterly smitten he predicted you two would eventually be for each other. Well, he described you almost perfectly, Dane Ada. Top fucking tier. Xaden with his lips between his teeth, Dane rubbing the back of his neck, and Mira. We were all Mira doubling over with fucking laughter.
It is literally one of the funniest lines of the book. Like, this is one of my favorite parts. It's like, while reading it, I was like, oh my fucking God.
And here we have Xaden, who's just now being nice to Dane, and then this is said, like,
He's like, okay, now we're done being nice. Got it. Cool. Thanks for that.
Dane had his 2 seconds of nice Xaden. He doesn't get it again after that.
And then also, I'm just thinking Dane's perspective. Like, I think he did want to be with Violet. So it's just like, really? Everyone saw this coming. And then, no, I don't get her. He falls in love with the fucking revolution kid. Cool.
It's okay. He's got Sloane later. He's gonna. Sloaner will take care of his boner. It's good.
100%. Nice.
Narelle then finds out Xaden is, well, Xaden, and she said Asher could not have predicted Fen Ryerson's son. Violet shares that Asher passed a little less than 3 years ago due to heart failure. Narelle says, your father risked all your lives to hide away his life's work with the sole purpose that you'd find it, Violet. He left the last of it with me almost 4 years ago with explicit instructions that you would be given if you had attained the intelligence and understanding you would need to comprehend it. Violet realizes the rarest item she possesses is her brain, not that wild ass adventure that they went on to retrieve the gem.
He went there 4 years ago. He died the 18 months after Violet walked the parapet. So this was like, how long has it been then? Oh, so he died 1 year after he did this?
Mm-hmm.
So he was planning for his death.
For sure.
As well as he wrote the letter to Violet 3 months before he actually died. So that's still like, did you know you're dying because you're sick? Or did you know someone was going to kill you? Or are you actually still alive and we're going to see you in book 4 or 5?
Like I said, I felt like his letter was set up for despair, not positivity, the one that we went over in chapter 18. So I think he was murdered. I think his heart gave out due to something else, not natural causes.
Right. Yeah, like I feel like if this was true crime and they did a autopsy, it would be some type of poison. But he was a poison master too, so it's
So
like
he would be able to detect it just like Violet was.
maybe he poisoned himself because he's trying to hide information.
That was his option. I mean, like, because he has all those vials of things. He's been to all these islands, knows all about, so he could do like an undetectable poison or something to make his heart stop. I don't know. We are back to riddles because Narelle has 3 questions for Vi. First up, what was the title of the manuscript he left Violet? She gets it right with Subjugated, the Second Uprising of the Crovan People by Lieutenant Colonel Asher Sorrengail. Next up, in chapter 14, your father alludes to the Crovan uprising falling apart because of Deverelli, but does not go into specifics. And then her gaze skims over Violet's uniform. Scribe, worth her wisdom, wouldn't have been satisfied with his speculation. So tell me, what's your hypothesis? Violet has an answer, but doesn't want to be wrong. But she says she thinks they promised dragons they couldn't deliver. Narelle then tells Violet to convince Dane of her answer. She tells him she thinks Deverelli brokered a deal with with Krovla and an unnamed isle, that the isle would provide the army and Krovla would provide the dragons. When they were unable to do so, the deal fell apart. The Midnight Massacre happened and Krovla remained a part of Coromil, which her answer does convince Dane. While Dane's taking that all in, Violet shoves her foot in her mouth and says, "Oh, wait till you realize that your dad knows my dad's book has something to do with Feathertails," which means Dad knew to stop trusting him at some point. Poor Dane. Like, poor Dane. We already know your dad's shitty, and then just like rubbing his face in it.
I also think it was a good reminder for Dane to, the final reminder, yeah, your dad's a shit stain, you know?
He is a shit stain on society.
Like, don't try and repair that relationship.
He's not Captain Asshole anymore. He's graduated to Captain Skidmark.
100.
And the final question, what made you leave the prince? Your father knew it wouldn't last, but I'd like to know the final straw. Violet is honest as she says she left him because she found him in a delicate situation with one of his professor. Norelle, sipping on that hot tea, leaned in immediately. Did he come begging your forgiveness? Did you take him back? Violet responded with, I've never sought a crown, and besides, it's not in Halden's nature to beg forgiveness of anyone. I closed the door and didn't bother speaking to him until a few weeks ago. He didn't love me, not in the way I deserve to be loved, and no amount of power is worth staying with someone who doesn't love you. Norelle is satisfied with this and says, you know your value. Your father would be proud. Get her the books.
I still have questions about, so her dad knew about Halden. Who's the other guy? I want to know.
We better get answers in the next book. I need to know Violet's dating life.
Why would you even say it if it wasn't going to come back?
There's
Other,
something.
yeah, why?
It's weird.
It's
Did she destroy a family? Like, what did she do?
destroy a family.
No.
Did she have a affair with Markham? And that's really why
That's why she got like promoted so fast, and then he was really disappointed. He didn't like get to canoodle with her anymore.
gross. I just picture Markham as gross.
I don't know. I picture him with like salt and pepper, kind of like older, sexy professor, but I wouldn't because like he's a Venom sympathizer.
I don't picture him sexy at all.
Mira, with her middle child syndrome, says she'll carry the books for Violet unless, of course, you think my father would have a problem with that. Promise not to read them or anything. Norelle just smiled and said, that right there is why he didn't leave them for you, dear. We all have a part to play in what's coming for us. This one is simply hers. While he was busy raising Violet for this particular reason or mission, your mother was raising you. I wonder what legacy you've inherited. And of course, these 6 books are passcoded. Here's 6 again. And then here's the Riddler with his fucking passcodes. It's giving non-existent prophecy when they say we all have a part to play in what's coming for us.
What do you think Lily raised Mira to do?
Be just like her. Yeah. Do we think Mira knows? Mira has to know something that Violet doesn't.
Has to. And then I think there's a reason why she went looking for the grandma.
She had to have been prompted, especially when she's reading Lilith's journal and diary.
Yep, something had to be. Can I say something? Oh, okay. So Mira's also a bitch, right?
She's the middle child, yeah. Older sister. Older sisters are bitches.
I am not a Nesta sympathizer at all.
That's me, not you.
But I like Cat. So it's like I like Kitty Cat, and Nesta's fine to me now. I don't like Mira.
Interesting. I don't necessarily trust Mira, but I don't dislike her.
I just don't like her, but I did like her laughing about the Dane Satan comment. That I'm fine with.
I'm just really rooting for her to bang it out with Drake.
That really is her problem.
Yeah, she's got some sexual frustration. She needs a release.
That is. I think we solved that case. So maybe she's not a betrayer and she just needs to get royally fucked.
Literally.
Royally with Drake.
Solid. We solved Mira's problem. She's just a bitch that needs to get dicked down.
Royally.
Yes. Speaking of getting dicked down, Violet is taking a bath when Xaden comes to visit her. It was game over before it began. Violet's hair is down, and that is always the demise of Xaden. Violet doesn't even make it out of the tub before, unfairly, Xaden kisses Violet.
Summary of chapter 25.
I just keep changing what we're calling them.
And I'm just going.
You're like, at this point, just, if it makes you happy, shut up, Kylie.
It's just easier to let you do this shit sometimes, you know? The epigraph was the most useless word in the language of aristocracy has always been and forever be love. Marriage is a necessary evil to secure the line, nothing more. Save love for your children. Confiscated correspondence of Fen Ryerson, unknown intended recipient. It's tragic that poor Fenny boy wasn't a romantic, and Xaden is.
Can you blame him? In the words of Joe Giudice, since his bitch wife just kind of took off, like, can you blame him?
But I don't think he loved her before that either.
Maybe he did. We don't know that.
A complicated man. I think we'll find out more about Fenny Fen.
What if that correspondence was meant for Lilith? We've joked about it too much. Like, we're homies with her. She is Lily. But what if that is for her? Save love for your children. What if they were in love and that's why Papa Sorrengail's heart broke?
Heard it here first. Oh.
Lilith was having an affair with Ben Ryerson.
Let's just start that rumor. Chapter 25. Violet and Xaden do it.
Solid way to start it.
Me so horny. Me love you long time. It was so hard for me, Kylie. I just watched the clip of Hottie, Steve Carell, and 40-Year-Old Virgin, and all I wanted to do was write that entire scene, and I wanted to be like, Xaden grabbed her breasts that felt like a bag of sand. Like, but I wanted to like play it straight and like act like, what?
There's no way you could have pulled that off. You already lost it after.
So hot.
I don't think my laughing would allow you to like continue that seriously.
I really wanted to try though.
I love that you're a dreamer.
I am a dreamer. Xaden may not have magic, but he does have a magic stick that is in need of some use. While visiting Pound Town, he says, I'm never giving you up. You know that, right? You had your chance to run. You should have run by. I'm never running. It's you and me no matter what. You and me.
You have to like share the sweet stuff. Like, you could have talked about his throbbing member so much more in this chapter. I'm disappointed in you.
Just read your next thing.
Doesn't make anything that I say better because, okay, Xaden says, I love your skin and you're so damn soft. I compliment people's skin sometimes because, like, I know the challenge of clear skin. I have shitty skin, but it's always a creepy compliment. And even Daddy Xaden saying it, like, doesn't make it better. It's still weird. Like, I love your skin.
Okay, it's in every fucking romance book or any, like, especially romantasy. It's always about, like, the woman having soft skin. And I think this is a missed opportunity for, like, Jergens or something to... But I start getting self-conscious about myself, like, wait, does John think I have soft skin? Do I need to start lotioning up a little bit more? I always wonder about it.
I will send you a bottle of Lubriderm. It's lotion.
I know, but you said lube and I got
excited.
I was like, what? I don't need that. I'm good to go. Okay, so I'm convinced because of his comments about I'm never giving you up, you know that, right? That at the end of this book, Xaden has a full-blown plan, not just a plan for Tyrandor, but a full-ass plan for them to be together again. Or maybe it was just him trying to save Tyrandor, but I think Violet was like, no fucking way. and they come up with the plan together. Like, I don't know, he just says it too many times, like, I'm never gonna leave you, and then he leaves her. But I just feel like there's more to it.
He is a chess player. You know it. He is making
Mhm.
very strategic moves. I agree with you. I said it. I didn't just like nod and smile. I just straight up said, I agree with you.
109.
You're okay. Let's do it.
During their post-coital talk, Vi says that they could just stay in Deverelli and take up Bougie Beat's offer. But Zayden says she's in pain. All the dragons are. They can't thrive the way that they do at home away from magic. I could never cause Sgaeyl pain. Cause Sgaeyl pain. Okay, words. And I never could let you abandon everyone you love.
I didn't even realize that the dragons were in pain since she had the privilege of being able to talk with Tiernan and Darna still. But I'm like, I wish her dragons like would have told her. I felt bad. And fucking Riddick for calling out Violet and Zayden for breaking the armoire.
It was killing me that like he's like, yeah, we broke the table. Like, I'm gonna say it before someone makes a comment. And Riddick's like, oh,
I knew it.
that would be me though. Be like, I fucking knew you guys did that.
That is why you are Riddick and Imogen's like love child.
The quest Scott. Scott. The quest Scott. The quest Scott.
We're idiots. Why am I associating me with you? You said it, not me. I'm like, yeah, we are idiots because you spoke.
Get away. Now, anytime that I fuck up a word and you start making fun of me, I'm just gonna start doing that.
It's good. I'll become immune to it eventually.
One day. The quest squad is out in the hall. Apparently, King Cortland has decided to keep his royal bucket, but Bougie B says he needs Zayden. He's the only aristocrat that they will let in. Zayden says, we have to go.
King Cortland, that was the wrong type of basket. Halden was not meant to be a gift basket. That's just how he arrived. I can understand the mistake too. I get it.
We said I get it at the same time.
Shocking. We said something at the same time. We did encounter a new character, Narelle Ansel, and I don't think her story's done. I think she held Asher's book at her bookstore, for a reason, and I feel like we're gonna meet her again.
I think so too. Yeah, there's more to her story.
New theory that we encountered was, did Asher moonlight as the Riddler? I think it's a really valid question that we have, which we have more. These aren't relevant, but there's some things that I thought about. Like, where do Venons sleep? Do they sleep? Blakely is not impressed that I'm talking about this. She does not like the fact that I asked if their bodies continue to produce oil in the same way as normal people. Like, do they get greasy hair? We also, asked, does Mira have a past like the one Violet was put on? And we want to know who was after Asher's work. Was it Colonel Ados, Panchek, or Melgran, the one that were sending riders to Deverelli? And, something else we know.
Really want to know, do they need dry shampoo?
Yeah, they need to know what to bring to the Isles. I think it's fair. We continue to notice Violet's exhaustion. Like I said, I think that she's manifesting more power than her signets and something to rival the gods. And, we noticed Mira and Drake's sexual tension. It was pretty intense. In my mind.
Like, I think it's more our minds, but she is setting it up for some fucking for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of it going around. Like, we've talked about how, in fourth, we may talk about how everyone sleeps with everyone.
So I was thinking about this when you were bringing up if Sgaeyl is a sugar baby and the age gap. Do you ever stop and just think, like, what would 2007 you think about the fact that you think about dragons the amount that you do? Not only do you think about dragons, 2007 you, what would you think that with your popped color, which is more me, not you, you had just colored eyeliner and we're an emo kid. Oh yeah, sorry. You apologize for that. But we don't just think about dragons. We don't just we talk about it for thousands of people about dragons fucking, and that's just normal?
No, it's not normal in any way, shape, or form. Nothing that comes out of my mouth is. But
But what
2007 me would be like, what a fucking loser. For sure. I would like, because I thought it was cool. And to think that I would like talk about dragons as much as I do outside of this podcast, not just here, but you and I talk about them constantly. I talk about them with my son, my sister, even Ryan. Yeah, I think I was a fucking dork. What 2007 think of you?
Probably similar. I mean, we were Harry Potter girls, so it's not like that we didn't have the nerd in us all along, but I didn't stop and think about stuff the way that I do now. Like, I think about dragons an obscene amount.
We were on to wizards, but we hadn't leveled up to dragons yet. Like, even vampires were a stretch because Twilight was a lot for me, and then I ended up enjoying it. So I don't think we had graduated to dragon
The
fantasy.
Yeah, I also just can I say something? Is there a part of you that is like, if dinosaurs were real, could like, who's to say that dragons weren't full ass real?
That's valid.
I do this thing. There's this thing that I do where if something's a mythical creature, I'm always like, but where did that come from? Did someone just make it up? No, I feel like they were real. I mean, I guess narwhals are real.
Those are not a mythical creature. They are very
No.
real. So, the ocean's only so explored. Like, all the dragon bodies could be at the bottom of the ocean. They were flying,
Well,
and the magic was just ripped from them, and they all fell. And so that's why we don't know where they are at.
I still am not convinced mermaids aren't real.
Once again, the ocean is really unexplored.
Right.
We've explored more of space than we have the ocean, so that's where mermaids and dragon bodies are.
See? Something to think about. So, Rebecca, on her book tour, they asked her what songs, she creates these great playlists when she's writing. What songs are on your playlist right now for book 4? She says, for sure, Violet is Look What You Made Me Do by T Swift. All these are T Swift songs, which that just seems obvious for me. Villain era, she's going for it. But then she chose But Daddy, I Love Him. Oops. I Can Fix Him and Down Bad. You Swifties out there, you're like, why would you choose these? But Daddy, I Love Him, that one seems like obvious to me. The only thing I said to Kylie about it was like, she doesn't even have parents anymore. So who's she to?
Unless she calls the gods.
Daddy?
Maybe her dad was really a god, and maybe it wasn't Asher. Lilith mated with Malik.
Mated?
Procreated was the word I was really going for.
Mated. Wow. So, But Daddy, I Love Him is about a girl who's judged for who she likes is dating, presumably being a bad influence. Popular for the line, running with my dress unbuttoned, screaming, but Daddy, I love him, and I'm having his baby. No, I'm not, but you should see your faces. I think the line, no, I'm not coming to my senses. I know he's crazy, but he's the one I want, is gonna fit book 4 because she's like, she just does not give a shit that he is Venom. And she doesn't care what anyone else says.
I don't disagree with that. Maybe Violet does find the cure. She becomes Venom and realizes her blood's the cure. I don't know.
But then the one that makes me scared is I Can Fix Him, where she's thinking that she can, but the very last line is I can fix him. No, really I can. No, really I can. Whoa, maybe I can't.
Maybe there's
No, I
nothing
need
to fix. They just work with it.
Yeah, maybe they just evolved. Yeah, Zayden's always gonna be no. She has to fix him. Maybe that's a book 5 thing, and she isn't able to in book 4.
Yes. We'll find out.
Possible. But Down Bad is fuck it if I can't have him. I might just die. It would make no difference. Staring at the sky, come back and pick me up. Fuck it. I can't have us. I might just not get up. I might stay down bad. How dare you think it's romantic, leaving me here safe and stranded? I mean, that fucking line.
She's left safe and stranded without him. So we are going to go through a Twilight moment where she's like listening to Likely Possibility, crying in the woods next to a log.
No way to say that.
Or in her case, it'd probably be like crying next to a dragon.
Which may or may not have existed.
Yes. We're not sure at this point.
I feel like they did.
I'm not saying no.
But you're not saying yes.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we haven't explored the ocean, and that's where I'm sure that they're at.
Listeners, I need you to tell me, do you think dragons actually existed? And I don't mean the stupid Komodo ones that nobody cares about. I mean,
whoa.
Okay, nerd, calm down. I mean, like, real,
Mad over there.
like, black Terran dragons. I want to know.
Okay, so that's our thoughts on chapters 21 through 25. We'll have 2 new episodes covering chapters 26 through 35 on the 19th. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending time with us as we go off on our tangents.
If you're enjoying listening to us, make sure you share with your book besties and you subscribe wherever you're listening. And don't forget to follow us on social media if you haven't yet. Thanks. Check you later.
Bye.
Alligator.